Hi, hello everyone. This is Shelley Mallard. This is my discussion 6, reflection of instructional design and assessment. And I'm going to try to verbalize the reflection components because I tend to be a better talker than I am a writer. So if I were to describe this learning event, I would say that I'm really glad that I took this course at the tail end of my master's program rather than at the beginning. It's one of a few where I feel like there's a takeaway immediately that I can implement into my classroom. I will also say that I've enjoyed learning from all of you. There's not many who are in the high school chemistry physics realm, but regardless, I've taken a lot away from each of you and how you would incorporate the different design models and strategies in your classroom. So thank you for sharing. As far as analyzing where I've been, I probably take for granted I've been teaching for 25 years and I've been doing a lot of lesson planning. However, I think this has made me be a little bit more intentional. I know that the backwards design model is probably one that I've been using, although I wouldn't have classified it as the backwards design model, because I always know at the end of a unit, the end of a lesson, what it is that I want my students to be able to do. I do believe that the backwards design model, and especially the template, will allow me to delve in deeper and really make sure that the activities that I'm assigning my students, whether it be homework, labs, group projects, are really moving us toward that big umbrella goal and the learning objectives. Where do I plan to go next from here? I think it is just a matter of spending more time in the instructional design realm, right? So we go day to day, we kind of know how our units flow, but really taking that time at the beginning of the unit to be intentional of the backwards design model. What are the goals? What are the objectives? Using a task analysis to really figure out what the big skills and even the little skills are that are going to build that foundation for students to be successful at the end of the unit. I think one of my biggest takeaways from this course was when we were talking about keeping it simple, the cognitive overload that students can get in presentations. I've never wanted to be that teacher that has a Google Slides presentation of 75 slides, but the reality is this: the students aren't going to know how long the slide presentation is, and they don't really care. But making sure that what's on the slide is neat, it's concise, it's visually appealing. I try to cram a lot onto one slide with pictures and diagrams and verbiage. And I think for a lot of kids, they're not sure where to focus. So I know that when I'm designing my unit lessons and my implementation and delivery, then I am really going to keep it simple, because the whole idea is that students can, yes, focus on what's on the slide, but also listen to you, because there's a lot of extra things that we say that just can't be verbalized on the screen. So getting them to realize what's important, what they need to write down, and what they don't need to write down. As far as technology implementation goes, I'm not afraid of technology, but I don't know that I effectively implement it in my classwork at this point in time. For me, technology sometimes it's just a substitute for the teacher because it's a video lesson. But as I research more and more, there are lots of tutorials, lots of simulations that are out there that give students that real world application. So again, making the time and being intentional of incorporating those technology components into the coursework. Technology isn't something that I grew up with. It's never been super important to me, but these kids have had an electronic device from day one. So realizing that technology is not a bad thing to have, and finding creative ways in which to use it to increase student understanding, because again, it's what they know. So it's my job as the teacher to figure out how to make it work. And as far as assessments go, again, if you start with the assessment in the end, then you know everything that you're doing up to that point is going to get the students to the goal in which you have set. And I also take away from this course that assessments are not just big assessments in the end, that I do need to be doing more informal assessments along the way just to gauge student understanding. As teachers, we want our students to be well-rounded students, and we want them to not only learn our content, but to see how that content applies outside of the classroom. And I think that's where the ISTE standards come into play. It's how do we incorporate engaging activities that make our students better consumers and responsible adults in the end. Again, I've enjoyed learning from all of you. I have some major takeaways for this course, and I wish you all a great year.